What's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you for an ML Sports Take. It's brought to you by Stanley Law Offices, Welch and Company Jewelers, Prestwick Golf, and our great friends over at Carvel of North Syracuse. Hey, make sure you head on over to Carvel this week for all your sweet treats, the amazing soft serve, and of course, the ice cream cakes for any occasion. You've never had a better ice cream cake than at Carvel. The Bills lose to the Miami Dolphins 21-19. It was just a very, very hard-fought game. You kind of looked at it like the Bills give up that touchdown late, and you're like, okay, well, get it back, and then things just kind of start to unravel at the end of games. And, the Dolphins had the ball right. I mean, they were really nip and tuck with their own goal line. And, the Bills got the safety. The punter punts it off his teammate's back. And it's 21-19. You're like, okay, well, Tyler Baskin hit him from 50 to 60, right? I mean, let's go. So the Bills get the ball back, but a great punt down to about the 10, 12-yard line. Crowder returns it up as best he can. And then the Bills kind of go up, and they rush, and Allen should have been sacked on the last play to end the game. And then obviously, kind of scrambled up, and I think he hit McKenzie there, and the Bills, just ran out of time. So I guess the positives for the Bills today is you lose this game. By the way, full disclosure, I'm not a big look at the schedule guy in, July or August, because I just think so many things happen with injuries and all the rest where you can't be like, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a loss, that's a win. You just can't do that. You can't predict a game in late November in, late July. You just can't do it. It's stupid. However, if you projected the division and projected the season, I had the Bills at 5-1 in the division, losing a game to Miami. Now, I thought it would be at Miami, but either way, like losing one, because Miami was just that much better this year. I mean, Mike McDaniel clearly is lockstep with Tua. They picked up Tyreek Hill. The defense is pretty good. Today they had Xavier Howard run at about 80%. So I just looked at those things. Okay, beat the Pats, beat the Jets, whatever, kind of wipe them clean. But split with the Dolphins was very realistic. Well, guess what? That is now on course here this season. Josh Allen, 42 of 63 for 400 yards. And 2 touchdowns. He did have the fumble loss in the first half, but let's face it, Josh Allen, that was not his fault. I mean, Devin Singletary was brutal picking up blocks today. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen for the Bills running backs, at least under this regime, picking up blocks. Stephon Diggs and the Bills, they dominated on that first drive, and then they just couldn't seem to really get a lot going. But if you're, I got to go back to the Bills' positives here. If you're a Bills fan, you're looking for something to kind of get you through the week, right? Until the Baltimore game. It took all of this and all of the injuries for the Dolphins to win by 2 points. And the Bills still had a chance at the end. Now, I'm not saying that the Dolphins don't deserve credit. They do. The defense was lights out. The defense was adjustment after adjustment. The offense didn't do a ton. I mean, if you're going to go into this game and say, hey, Tyreek Hill's going to have 33 yards with 2 catches, if you're a Bills fan, you're going to take that. Jalen Waddle had 4 catches, 102 yards. Obviously, had the one late that was unbelievable. Bills kind of left him there. But again, the Bills were missing Mitch Morse at center. They eventually lost Ryan Bates. They eventually lost Spencer Brown. They lost Micah Hyde, and he's gone for the year. And I know injuries are a part of the game. It's not an excuse. I'm just stating facts. Dane Jackson last week, we didn't know if he was even going to play football again, right? I mean, my God, that injury looks so bad that, he could have died out there. So he missed today. Jordan Poyer was out today. Ed Oliver was out today. Christian Benford ended up going out today. I mean, the injuries are plentiful for the Bills, right? And they lose by 2 points in weather that's really, really brutal. I mean, on both sides. It wasn't just the Bills with guys going down left and right. It was both sides going down. And the Bills, they just didn't come out on top. I mean, it was, they fought to the end. The running game, again, still didn't really deliver. Josh Allen was dependent on his running backs. The Dolphins really came with the same game plan that they always do, which is blitz, blitz, blitz Josh Allen. He's great against the blitz, and he really devoured them in certain spots, but this was not an offensive game. It was a 21-19 game filled with mistakes and filled with the defenses making plays. I mean, the Bills shutting down Tyreek Hill is all you need to know. 2 catches, 33 yards. And then on the Dolphins side, they adjusted and made things happen where the Bills, they only scored 5 points in the second half. 5 points. And one was a field goal, obviously, and then the other was the punt block. So the Dolphins defense dominated the second half. Now, yeah, injuries, yeah, part of the game. But the Dolphins were able to get through, especially on the edges, and that's just how it goes. I mean, football is a wild sport. It's a wild game. It'll be a long flight back. It'll be a long week for Bills fans, but it's 3 weeks into the season, so you got to just kind of stay the course, make things happen, get people back and healthy, go to Baltimore with a healthy attitude, and figure it out from there. Josh Allen, 42 of 63 for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran it for eight. He ran it 8 times, and then 47 yards on the ground. Zach Moss, 4 for 48. Singletary, 9 for 13. McKenzie, 1 for 6. 1 for 3 for James Cook. In terms of the receiving here, as we dissect the box score, Devin Singletary caught 9 passes for 78 yards. He was the leading receiver for the Bills. Also had a touchdown there on that great catch from Josh Allen in the first half, where the Dolphins really came hard with blitzes. McKenzie, 7 for 76. Stephon Diggs, 7 for 74. He dominated really early. And then the Dolphins with Xavier Howard and some safety help really made life difficult for him. Also was cramping late in this game. Gabe Davis, 3 for 37. James Cook, 4 for 37. Knox, 4 for 25. Gilliam, 2 for 22. Quentin Morris, 2 for 22. Jake Kumaro, 2 for 14. Jamison Crowder, 1 for 9. And Zach Moss, 1 for 6. So when you look at the amount of guys who caught the ball for the Bills, Singletary, McKenzie, Diggs, Davis, Cook, Knox, Gilliam, Morris, Kumaro, Crowder, and Moss, 11 different people caught the ball for the Buffalo Bills. I mentioned that fumble. It wasn't on Josh Allen. Defensively, the Bills, I thought they had a really good game. I thought the best player on the field was actually Taron Johnson. He was filling a lot of gaps. He was filling tremendous side-to-side, north-south tackling, stopping the run, jumping up into place, taking away the middle. I thought he was great. Jaquan Johnson, obviously, that penalty late, I don't know if that was really a penalty. I mean, that the Bills kind of got hosed on a few calls in this game. I'm not blaming the refs, but the fact is Matt Milano pushes down Tua Tagovailoa in the first half, like literally just a simple, varsity high school football push, and Tua goes back and he smacks his helmet on the field, and because they saw the head go down and up, they called the penalty. Complete horseshit. That would have been horseshit in any game. Doesn't matter about the Bills. I know there's going to be a lot of Dolphin fans and everybody, oh, you're a homer. Not the case. That would have been BS in any game that I'm watching, and I watch all the games. So that was brutal. The Jaquan Johnson play at the end, I mean, come on, what's the guy supposed to do? At the angle he was coming in at, they still called the play. I thought he still played a pretty good game. The Bills had 2 sacks in this game. I thought they'd have more, and they didn't have an interception. So the Bills' defense really didn't cause a lot of turnovers, and Miami did. Miami made some plays, right? And so let's break down the Miami passing game, the Miami box score. Tua Tagovailoa, he was 13 of 18 for 186 yards and a touchdown. And it's just, the stats weren't that great. They only had 41 yards total rushing in this game, so the Bills' defense did a nice job there. Jalen Waddle, he's an amazing player and had a great game. For Tyreek Hill only having 2 catches and 33 yards, Jalen Waddle goes for 4 and 102. They had a few other guys in there. Mike Gesicki, I read on multiple reports before the game that he was going to be inactive, and then he played. So that's an interesting development there. Melvin Ingram was all over the place. Maybe was the best defender for the Miami Dolphins. He had 2 sacks. Probably was. 3 total tackles. All three were solo. Baker, Holland, Jones, Roberts, Xavier Howard. Everybody kind of got in the act. The Dolphins used aggressive game plans. They're a blitz defense, and that's all they did in this game. And Josh Allen got him at times, but then at other times, guys miss assignments. The Dolphins used extra pressure. Kudos to them. They really came after it. And, this is just kind of how the cookie crumbles in the NFL. So the Bills lose 21-19 at Miami. And, they'll fly back. They'll regroup. It was a 1 o'clock Sunday game. They've got a couple of 1 o'clockers, coming up. They've got at Baltimore. And then they've got Pittsburgh at home. And then they go at KC on October 16th, which is a 4:25 game. Then the bye week. And then the Packers come in town. I think the Bills after that are going to go on a run. They got at Jets, Minnesota at home, Cleveland at home, at Detroit, at New England, home for the Jets, home for the Dolphins. I think they win that game big, especially after today with a revenge factor, at Chicago, at Cincinnati, and then they wrap up the season at home against New England on January 8th. I had the Bills going 5-1 of the division, splitting with the Dolphins no matter what, and then probably winning 11 or 12 games. These people who think they're going 14-3, 15-2, you're out of your mind. It's the NFL. They're going to catch some breaks along the way, and they're going to not get some breaks along the way. That's just how it goes. Kansas City losing today to Indianapolis, that was a huge break for the Bills in terms of the overall playoff picture as we move into Week 4. Thanks for watching. Mike Lindsley here with you. It's an ML Sports Take brought to you by our great friends over at Welch & Company Jewelers, Barks and Rec Doggy Daycare, MyHotTub.com, and Maple Downs Senior Living Community. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and as I always tell you, enjoy the games.